last time was that what is electric current? That electric current is nothing but, suppose, let us say, rate of flow of electric charges. So that is what we had seen last time, that what exactly is electric current. And we had also seen that it requires a device called as ammeter, which is used for its let's say calculation. So the device we use for measuring electric current is nothing but ammeter. Now today what we are going to do is, today we are going to go into deeper level, and we will be seeing second topic, and that is nothing but electric potential and potential difference. So kindly please check. See, last time we had covered these 2 points, that is 12.0 and 12.1 from our textbook. Now what we'll do is, today we'll go for 12.2 and 12.3, and if time allows we'll also go for 12.4 if it is possible, but today first we'll see what is 12.2, right? What is electric potential and what is potential difference. So these two things we will see. Chalo, then let's start. So what exactly is potential difference? See, I will try to make it as easy as possible for you to understand what this topic is all about. What exactly is potential difference? What exactly is electric potential? I will explain. But do remember that, suppose you need to understand this, you need to be very attentive. Only then you will understand. Otherwise, this particular topic is going to get really hard for you. So kindly please understand, and let's say be very focused while you are, let's say, listening to what I'm saying. So focus on this. We are trying to understand which topic, electric potential or potential difference. So how exactly we can define these. So consider yourself that, suppose there is a charge. Consider that there is a charge that is positive, and we want to take this from one place to another. For example, there is place A. Suppose, let us say, there is Parbhani, and the second place we have is Aurangabad, for example. So you want that charge to be taken from Parbhani to Aurangabad, right? So you are taking that positive from Parbhani to Aurangabad, and you have to do some work then. Suppose this charge is not going to move by itself. We cannot order that charge that please go from Parbhani to Aurangabad. So that is not possible, right? So that means we should, let's say, do some kind of work. We have to do some work. Only then it will be possible that you're shifting your charge from Parbhani to Aurangabad. So that is one thing which you should remember. And yes, all students are being advised, if students are not coming on time, they will not be admitted. I'm telling you this again. Do not, let's say, be late in the lectures. Otherwise, you won't understand. Chalo. So let us try. See, students are still coming. Okay. So our charge is moving from Parbhani to Aurangabad. So we have to do some work for moving this charge from Parbhani to Aurangabad, right? So this work done to move a charge from one place to another is called as potential difference. So exactly what is potential difference? Work done to move a charge from one place to another. To move charge from one point to another. One point to another. One point to another. So both the places are known in this case. So this is called as potential difference. Potential difference is nothing but the work done to move a charge from one place to another. And how it is denoted? This is denoted by letter V. It is denoted by letter V. So how we can put this in formula? So in formula, you can put it something like this, that W is equal to V into Q. That means V is equal to W by Q. In this way, we can put it. So work done to move a charge, that is Q. This charge is nothing but it is represented by which letter? Q. That is electric charge. So if we move that charge from one place to another, that is Parbhani to Aurangabad, so that will be said as potential difference. So V is equal to W by Q. And the unit for potential difference is volt. Unit for potential difference is volt. So in short, suppose if we are moving one point, let's say one charge from one place to another, whether it is proton, whether it is electron, it doesn't matter. But if you are moving it from one place to another, we call it potential difference. Then what is electric potential? Electric potential is also the same thing. We move the charge from one place to another, but in case of potential difference, both the points are known. Both the points are known. Both points are known. But problem with electric potential is that inside electric potential, you do not have the idea of one point. One point is known. Another point is infinity. So electric potential is, you take a charge from infinity to a given point, like at a very long distance, and you are bringing from a long distance a charge, then that is called as electric potential. And what is potential difference? Potential difference is from one point to another. From one point to another. From one point to another, if you are moving, if both the points are known, it is called as potential difference. But if you are moving a charge from one place to another and one of the points is infinity, that is not known, it is unknown, then it is called as electric potential. So electric potential, how you'll define? Work done to move a charge from infinity to a given point. And what about potential difference? Work done to move a charge from one point to another. So you do one thing, in your textbook, you can suppose, let's say, write this down. Let's say you can write something like this, that electric potential, definition for electric potential is work done to move charge from infinity to given point. From infinity to given point. Matlab one point is non-known, in short. Infinity to given point. So this is what? This is electric potential. Please write it down in your notebook. Electric potential definition. Very simple. Work done to move a charge from one infinity to a given point. And what is potential difference? Same thing, only the words you have to change. That is infinity to given point. In place of that, you have to replace from one point to another. So potential difference. Potential difference, a definition. Work done to move charge from one point to another. From one point to another. Okay. So kindly please either take the screenshot or either you can write it down in your notebook right away, because these definitions you have to memorize, because these you are going to use in your exams frequently. So at least you should have definitions, the concept, and then the definition proper words which you can use in your exam. And what is the formula? Formula is W is equal to V into Q. That is W is equal to VQ. And unit for potential difference and electric potential, for both of them the unit is voltage. For both of them the unit is voltage. And in short, how we can write it? We write it by denoting it with the symbol V. We use the symbol V for both the cases. That is voltage, volt. Let me know in your chat boxes once you have written or either taken the screenshot of the definitions. In the chat box you can write down, so that we can move ahead and we can see some more points regarding this. Done? Okay, written. Okay, good. Now, one question I have to ask, just a simple question. Don't you think, suppose, chalo, we can take the charge from Parbhani to Aurangabad, we can understand that, right? But do we really do that work? Like, do we really take a charge in our hand and move from one place to another? That's not possible, right? So there must be some reason why it is flowing from one place to another. Now, let me just have an example and you explain me that suppose there is one tank, there is another tank just around it, and I have, let's say, this much of amount in this first tank, and I have connected this first tank A with the tank B, and there is almost like this amount of water, right? Now you tell me, water will flow from which tank to which tank? Like, will it flow from A to B or B to A? What do you think?
A to B.
And all students are being advised to use only chat boxes. Do not use your microphones, else you will be kicked out of this meeting. This is the final warning. Do not use your, let's say, your microphones. Okay, so it's A to B. Okay, okay. Maximum students are saying A to B. So any reason for this? What scientific explanation we can give? Anything which flows generally from high concentration to low concentration. High concentration to low concentration. That is how the charges, let's say, anything moves in the world. Either it is pressure, either it is content, either it is nitrogen, either it is oxygen. Whatever you are talking about, it generally moves from high concentration to low concentration. So that is how this thing moves. So can we say something like this? Suppose there is point A and there is point B, and the charge is moving from A to B. Okay, the charge is moving from A to B. Can I say this point A must be at something like higher concentration or maybe something like high pressure, and it is moving, suppose, let us say, to B, so that means B must be at low? Can we say something like this? If the charge is moving from A to B, that A must be at something high, B must be at maybe something like low, right? Okay, so what kind of word do we have for this? The word we are looking for is electrical pressure. The word we have for this is electrical pressure. So this is electrical pressure. like high electrical pressure to low electrical pressure. And what is the another name for this electrical pressure? Potential difference. The another name for electrical pressure is nothing but potential difference. So in the exam, if they ask you why the charge flows, would you be able to write down this answer that the charges move from one place to another because of electrical pressure? Very simple answer. Electrical pressure, that is 1 point high to low point. In the exam, would you be able to write it like that? Why charges move from one place to another? Very simple answer. That is, it is due to electrical pressure, nothing more. In the chat box, please let me know if you can write this down. Very simple answer to a simple question. Okay, now next question. If we have understood like electrical pressure and everything, one more point. What kind of device do we use for measuring potential difference? But before we get into that, can you please answer this question? If this is your home, okay, if this is your home sweet home, and this is the electrical pole which is outside your home, right? And I have connected, your electricity connection has come from this pole to your house. Okay, this is your electrical connection. Can you please tell me, this is pole, right? Okay, so one question. Who is at high potential, high electrical pressure, and who is at low electrical pressure? What do you think? I will just give you the logic that the current is flowing from your pole to your house. What do you think? Who is at high and who is at low? What do you think? Yes, very simple answer, correct. Yes, many students are giving correct answers. Pole is at high electrical pressure. Pole is at high electrical pressure and your house is at low electrical pressure. Low, technically it is not even low, it is zero. Your house is at zero potential. That's why electricity flows from your poles to your house. So if somebody asks you that, how come your house is receiving electricity? So would you be answer, let's say, would you be able to answer something like this? That my house is getting electricity because my house is at zero potential, yeah, for low potential, and the poles are at high potential. So all the value that electricity is coming towards my house, and the electricity is not flowing from house to pole. Would you be able to give this answer that why electricity is flowing towards your house? Very simple question, that why electricity is coming to your house from the poles? Because your house is at low potential. Very simple. Okay. So what kind of device do we use to measure this? If this is a physical quantity, we must be having some kind of device to measure this. So as we have ammeter for current, we have voltmeter for potential difference, right? So we have ammeter for, let's say, your current, and we will have voltmeter for potential difference. Very simple logic. Okay, now with this case in mind, let's say we have voltmeter to measure potential difference. Let us see in the book if there is something else. Can you please answer this question? Electrons move from one point to another when there is electrical pressure difference, whether it is true or false. What do you think? From one point to another when there is electrical pressure difference. True? Okay, take it. True. Good. Okay. Next question. If suppose, let us say, if this is your circuit, and you have connected some kind of bulb here, okay, this is your bulb, and this is glowing right now. Okay, this is glowing right now. The current is flowing in this case, and this is glowing. Can you tell me who is offering potential difference? Like, who is creating that pressure difference? Can we say either it is bulb or either it is battery? What do you think? Who must be creating that pressure difference, that electrical pressure difference? Is it a battery or is it that bulb? What do you think? Okay, good. Many students are giving correct answer, logical answers. That is battery. Obviously, if your current is flowing from battery towards the bulb, your current flows from battery towards the bulb. So that means battery must be at high potential. So this is the one who is creating that difference, that potential difference. So in the circuit, who is creating potential difference? Battery is going to, let's say, create that potential difference. So please remember this. And one more thing, suppose, let's say we have to understand about voltmeter, two features, but this we will see in, let's say, later periods why this is so. We are going to memorize two features of voltmeter, but we are not going to see the explanation right now. We will see the explanation when we will see series and parallel circuits. So the two features of voltmeter are, first thing, it has high resistance. Just for now, just remember it. Do not try to understand. We will see the concept why it has high resistance later when we will see series and parallel circuits. So it has high resistance and it is connected in parallel. It is always connected in parallel. So there are 2 points about voltmeter. First, it has high resistance and it is always connected parallel in the circuit. But right now we are not going to see the explanation part. We'll see in later periods. So are these 2 points understood? Let's say we are not going to see the explanation. We'll see it later, but this has to be memorized right away. That voltmeter has high resistance and it is connected in parallel. Okay. Okay. Chalo then. Moving on. Let us see the formulas. How we can put it. So the formula we have given is W is equal to VQ, right? Okay. So V is equal to W by Q. So what is the unit for volt? That is volt, right? What is the unit for work? Work unit is joule. And what about Q? Q unit is, let's say, coulomb, right? It's coulomb. Okay. So can we say 1 volt is nothing but joule per coulomb? 1 volt is nothing but joule per coulomb. Or you can shift this coulomb to the numerator side and you can say it is joule C raised to -1. You can write down in this way also. Same in the case as in 9th, you used to write meter per second as ms raised to -1. In the same way, joule per coulomb, you can write down, let's say, jc raised to -1. This one, right? So can you please underline this? The device we use is voltmeter and it is connected in parallel. Just one more point you have to add here, and that is resistance is high. Resistance high. Just underline these 2 things, parallel, and write down one more thing, that is resistance high. Written in your textbook. If you have your textbook with you, please write it there. And if your PDF, please mark it there according to whatever the things you are using. Okay? Chalo then, moving on. Now you tell me the answer for this. Voltmeter has dash resistance as is connected in dash within the circuit. What do you think? Voltmeter has dash resistance and it is connected dash within the circuit. Yes, correct. Yes, many students are giving correct answers. Some students are saying A, some students are saying B, some are actually giving the answers. Okay, theek hai. See, voltmeter is connected in, has what kind of resistance? High resistance. Okay, theek hai. So 2 options. High. We require high answer. And it is connected dash in circuit. Whether we connect series or parallel, we just have written or have understood that it is connected in parallel. So yes, the answer should be B. Answer should be B. Okay. So this is the answer. High and parallel. Okay, so congratulations whoever gave the correct answers. Chalo. Now a next question, a numerical on this. How much work is done in moving a charge 2 coulomb across 2 points having potential difference 12 volt? So this is 2 coulomb. So what is this? This must be Q, right? The coulomb is always represented by, let us say, letter Q. So Q must be 2 coulombs. What is V? That is 12 volt. And they're asking what is the work done. So they are asking W. So what is the formula? W is equal to VQ. Vada Vignari Queen, right? So W is equal to VQ, Vada Vignari Queen. A very simple mnemonic to remember. Vada Vignari Queen. Just put the values there. It's 12 into 2. So the answer would be 24. And unit for work is joule. So the answer would be 24 joules. Okay, very simple question. The values are given. Formula you already remembered, memorized. Just put the values and you will get your answer. Right? 24 joules. Moving on. So now let us answer these questions, these blue questions. First question. Name a device that helps to maintain a potential difference across a conductor. What do you think? What can be the answer for this? And also you have to write down the answers in your textbook also. Huh? In the blue question itself, there itself, in the textbook itself, you write down the answer. Okay, so okay, somebody is giving cell, somebody is giving battery, somebody is giving wire, somebody is saying voltmeter. Actually, there are lots of options which students are giving. Really lots of options. Okay. Okay, good. So can we talk about this? See, wire will definitely be not there. They're asking who maintains a potential difference or who creates a potential difference. The answer is battery, obviously. The answer would be battery. And in place of battery, you can use cell. So as cell, you can also write down. You are either battery or cell you can use to maintain a potential difference. And what about voltmeter then? Why we can't write voltmeter here? Voltmeter doesn't maintain potential difference. It measures potential difference. Is the question like something like this, that name a device that helps to measure potential difference. No. The question is maintain, not measure. If it was measure, then we would have written voltmeter, but there is not there. So technically we cannot write down there. So I hope you are understanding why we have not written voltmeter. Is it okay? Because voltmeter is used to measure potential difference, right? Okay, ठीक है. Now let's just go for the second question. First question is done, and please write down the answers in your textbook itself. Okay, what is meant by saying that potential difference between the 2 points is 1 volt? What do we say? What do we mean that the potential difference is 1 volt? So for such kind of questions, what you have to do is you have to write down the formula, right? What is the formula for potential difference? Vada-Vickrey-Queen. Okay, so that means it is V is equal to W by Q. Okay, now you do one thing. In place of volt, you write down 1 volt. Okay, so in place of volt, you are writing down 1 volt. So in place of work, I have to write down 1 joule, right? And in place of Q, I have to write down 1 coulomb. Is it okay? What I have done is, as I wanted to define 1 volt, I let's say substituted work as 1 joule and Q as 1 coulomb. And now I have to define. So what is 1 volt? 1 volt is the potential difference when 1 joule of work is done, when 1 joule of work is done to move charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another. Have you already seen this definition somewhere? Yes, right? Initially only you have seen this definition of potential difference somewhere, right? We have written that. All we did was we modified this for 1 volt, 1 joule and 1 coulomb. This is the same definition you have written for potential difference. All we did was we added some few words like 1 joule of work and 1 coulomb of charge, and we rewrote that definition. Okay? So that's your second answer. Second answer is this. That is potential difference is the let's say 1 volt when 1 joule of work is done to move a charge of 1 coulomb from one point to another. Can you go for the third one? Let us go for the third one. How much energy is given to each coulomb of charge passing through a 6-volt battery? Okay, okay. The third question. Let us identify what they're asking. They're asking us to find out energy. Okay, energy. Energy is what? Each coulomb means they have given 1 coulomb of charge. Each coulomb means what? 1 coulomb. And what is potential difference? V is 6 volts. Okay. But we do not have a formula for this, right? The only formula we have is Vada-Vickrey-Queen, correct? But work is nothing but energy. Work is nothing but energy. So we can replace this formula as W is equal to VQ. In place of that, I'm going to write down E. E is equal to VQ, right? So what is the value of V? It is 6. What is the value of Q? That is 1. So the answer would be 6 joules, right? The answer is 6 joules. Very simple. Are you understanding this point? Just what we have done is a little modification. In place of work, we have written energy. But the formula is simple, same as it is which you have learned. Okay, can we move ahead now? Okay, good. So in place of that now, we will be going for the new topic, and that is the symbols which are there for different devices. So let me share my screen first. I will open the file regarding circuit diagrams, and we'll see what kind of symbols are there for different things. You have to memorize these, and these will be asked to you for 1 or 2 marker questions that explain the symbols. Okay, chalo. So this is 12.3 in your textbook. Kindly please come to that page, 12.3. Okay. So let us start with circuit diagrams. So we have completed 1, 2nd, and 3rd. The details we have seen. Now we have to go for circuit diagram. So let us see what the symbols are, what is the use. First question, why do we have symbols? Like before we get into the symbols and all, this is the list. They have given a list of symbols. Question is, why do we even require symbols? Can't we just draw the picture? Like for example, we have a TV, right? So if you want to show TV, can't we just draw TV? Yeah, can't we just draw fridge? Obviously you can. You can draw TV, you can draw fridge, you can draw your PC, laptop, whatever you want to draw, you can. But question is, how much time is it going to take? It will take a lot of time, right? To draw a TV with all the features and the screen each time. For example, in your circuit, you are drawing the diagram of fan, for example. Now almost in every room of our house there is one fan, right? If you have even 5 rooms or 4 rooms in your house, you will have at least 4 fans, correct? So it is very difficult to show each time fan then tube. It's very hard. So what we do is, in place of that, we have symbols, so it will save us our time. So in place of battery, we just draw 2 symbols. So the first point, can you please write down there, let's say behind that 12.3, or let's say above or below, that why do we have symbols? The first reason is it saves time. It saves time. We don't need to, let's say, go for each time, let's say, the details about it. So the first thing it saves is time, correct? And the second point, can I say it reduces, let's say, complexity? It makes the diagram simple. Okay, so that also we can write down. It makes diagram simple. It makes, let's say, our circuit simple, not diagram, circuit simple. It makes our circuit simple. Otherwise, you will keep on drawing, let's say, fan images or maybe tube light images, and it will just create complexity in your page. It will be very hard to differentiate between the 2 rooms in place of, let's say, fan and tubes. So what we go for is symbols. So it saves time and it makes our circuit simple. So have you written these 2 points? See, they will not ask you regarding this, but still, at least you should have basic information like why we have symbols. Okay. Chalo then. And what about other students? And be, let's say, communicative. I can see only a handful, 2 or 3 students reply for any of the questions which I ask. Let me tell you, if you are not serious about your own studies, then nobody can help you out. Not even God can help you. If you are not yourself, let's say, responsible, you have to be communicative. Otherwise, how you will understand the topic? Okay, chalo then. Moving on. So the first symbol we are going to see is for cell, normal cell. So the symbol for cell is something like this. You draw a big line, you draw a larger line, and you draw a shorter line, right? And you just, let's say, connect these. This is your plus and either minus. So the plus has to be given to longer side and the minus has to be given to shorter side. Please do remember, do not use same size lines. Do not use same size line. That is a symbol for some another device called as capacitor. Okay, that is another symbol. So hence, please do not go for same lines. You have to use one longer line, one shorter line. Okay, one longer line is positive, shorter line is negative. So this is one cell. Now you tell me, have you used some kind of toys in which you have connected one cell after the another, like one behind the another, like maybe in some pianos or maybe somewhere like this, like one after the another, like in toys, right? So can we say something like this, that this can be represented like this is first and shorter for the first cell, then for the second cell, and then for the third cell. Have you understood that because of the 3 cells, I have used 3 symbols of the normal cell, right? One for each cell, first cell, second cell, third cell. So this combination is called as battery. This combination is called as battery. So question is, how many times we have to draw? For example, we have 2 cells. If you have 1 cell, then that is one longer, one shorter. If we have 2 cells, then we have to draw one long, short, that's it. Can you please tell me, if I have 4 cells, right? If I have 4 cells connected one after the another, how many, let's say, symbols of cell should I use? Can I use randomly? Like, can I just draw 3 or maybe 2? Is it okay? No, right? If you have 4 cells, then you have to draw 4 lines, right? 4 long, 4 short lines. Exactly. So you have to use all those 4 things. You have to, let's say, use first longer, shorter, longer, shorter, longer, shorter, and longer, shorter. Okay. So in this way. And how many plus and minus symbols should I use? See, one mistake what student do is, student think that, let's say, we have to use as many plus and minus as required. So it is not the case. Plus minus has to be given only one time. 1 plus, 1 minus. That's it. The symbols are not given for the between lines. Is it okay? The plus symbols and minus symbols has to be given only at the end. Nothing more than that. So these are the 2 symbols. So can we say These combinations of cell has another name, that is battery. That is battery. So the students who have used cells one after the another in their toys like this, can we say this is a battery? Even though those are cells, but you have connected them one after the another. So can we have, let's say, a name for this? This is called as battery. I know. You have connected cells one after the another, but technically, when you connect more than one cell, it's a battery. So battery is nothing but more than one cell. Okay. I hope you are understanding. Okay. Now we will go for plug key and let's say plug key. There are two types. One is for on position, one is for off position. So when you plug key, your switch is open. So how to draw that? So you have to draw a bracket and do not give anything in between. There is no dot in between. There are just two brackets. So if you have that, it means that it is off position. It is off position, and it is called as the switch is open. The switch is open. This condition is called as the switch is open, right? It is not closed, it is open, and the switch will not work. It's off condition. Okay, so can you please do one thing? In front of this, can you write down off condition? Just off condition. So that means it will be easy for you to remember that if the symbol is like this, like the brackets are open, there is no dot in between, that means the switch is off. It's not working. The switch is open. The another word is switch is open. I know it sounds ridiculous that when we are saying it's off and the switch is open, so it feels like it's open means like it's on. It's not like that. When somebody is saying that the switch is open, it means that the switch technically is off. And the another word, when the switch is closed, what kind of symbol are we using? Bracket, and then there is one dot in between. So that is called as on position. So have you written in your textbook off and on position? These two things are required there. Please write it down. Be fast. It's a very simple symbol. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So I would like to ask you a simple question. A simple question I would like to ask you. Suppose I am drawing this circuit. Okay? I have drawn this circuit. I have this bulb. Right? And I have a switch here. Can you please tell me whether I have connected battery or cell in this circuit? Whether I have used battery or cell? Okay, good. So first point is very much clear to the students that as we have connected two cells, so that means it must be two batteries, right? It's a battery basically. It's not a cell. Okay. Next question. Whether this switch is on or off? What do you think? Whether this switch is on or off? The switch is off. Okay, the switch is off. Definitely it is off. Whether the switch is open or closed. Whether the switch is open or closed. No, I understood that it is off. Second question, whether the switch is open or closed. Okay, I can understand that the answer is off, but the next question is whether the switch is open or closed. Okay, it is open. Good. So it is open. So will this bulb glow or not? Will the bulb glow or not? What do you think? A simple question, whether the bulb will glow or not. Obviously not, right? Okay, so the bulb will not glow. Correct? Okay, so moving on from that point, that the circuit is not going to work, the bulb is not going to glow, it's going to remain off, right? Okay, right. So next point. So there are two more things. Let's say a wire joint and a wire crossing without joining. For example, let me give you a certain example for this. Just consider that this is a wire. This is a wire A to B. And what I want to do is I want to have another wire for another device. Okay? I have one device here at point C, and I want to have, let's say, current, connection to this particular point. So what I will do is I will connect the C point directly to this wire. I will connect directly the C point to the wire. So what does this mean? This means wire joint. This is wire joint. So in this case, wire joint. What does it mean? That we are connecting that particular wire to some another wire. So this is wire joint, right? Now the second case, this is the first one. But it might happen that due to my complexity, suppose let us say I have one device here, one device here, and I have another device here, third one. So this is my A device, this is my B device, and this is my C device, and there is one D device here. What I want to do is I want to connect A and B, which I did, and I want to connect C and D, but I don't want any connection between A and B. It might happen that I have drawn a diagram in such a way that they are opposite to each other, but I don't want to connect this time that C, I don't want to connect with AB. So what I will do is I will take a wire here and I will create a curve, something like this. So what is the meaning of this? It means that the wires are crossing without joining. There is no joining here. No joining. There is no joining. There is a joint here. So that means they have joined. They are going to share that current. But in this case, they are not going to share anything. So have you understood the difference between these two things? The first one, the wire with joint and without joining. A very simple one. Let's say join means like you have actually made a connection, and wire without joining. Why do we need it? Because of maybe there is a diagram problem. You have devices which are in front of each other. Okay. Now let us go for electric bulb. Let us go for electric bulb. Like what kind of symbol should we use? Kindly do not draw this symbol. Huh? Kindly do not draw this symbol in your diagrams. The reason is that it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time. So in place of that, you can use this symbol, right? It's a very simple one. You have to take a line. You have to draw M, and that's it. Something like an M, something like a heart-shaped kind of, let's say, device. Very simple, right? So that's the electrical symbol, bulb symbol. And why does that bulb has a special symbol? Because bulb is used frequently, so that's why it has a special symbol, right? The first point. Have you understood about electric bulb? It's just a simple symbol. Do not go for the second one. It's very complicated. It will take a lot of time to draw. Okay. Now let us go for a resistance, R. But are you not curious? Are you not curious that then what about other devices? What about other devices? Like we have fridge, we have TV, we have fan, and there is no symbol for it. So we have a special symbol for it, and that is this one. Symbol of resistance, this one. So what does this mean? See, when you are using this in circuit, it can be a bulb, it can be a fan, it can be a tube, it can be a TV, it can be anything. So I hope you are understanding that this is one of the universal symbols you can use for any device. You can use for any device. So we do not have special symbols for, let's say, every device. We just have a resistance symbol. You can use it for anything. Is it okay? Technically, that zigzag line can be used for anything, including bulbs. Okay. Now let us go for the next one. So symbols you understood. Okay. Now we will cover 10th and 11th first, and then we will go for 9th one. Okay, so for 10th and 11th, see, the symbol is one is for ammeter, one is for voltmeter. The symbols are very simple. You just have to draw a circle. If you write A in that, it's ammeter. If you draw a circle and you write down V in that, it's a voltmeter. Very simple. V for voltmeter, A for ammeter. That's it. And positive, negative has to be shown. Positive, negative, positive, negative. So I think there is no explanation needed in this case. It's just a symbol. Draw a circle, write down A for ammeter, V for voltmeter. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Now let us go for 9th. Now this is something interesting. 9th, this is something interesting. Okay. So I have not taught you the topic of resistance, right, till now. So that is somewhat complicated to understand because that topic is after this. In Ohm's law, that topic is there, that is resistance. So it might be a little bit difficult for you to understand, let's say, what kind of symbol there is a difference between this and these symbols. So what we will do is, first we will understand the topic of resistance in Ohm's law, right? And then we will see the difference of the use of these symbols. The first symbol is this, when this is used, when this is used, and what is the difference between this. So is it okay that the symbol of 8th and 9th we are again going to revisit, but after seeing Ohm's law? When we'll deal with Ohm's law, only then we will be able to come back again to this position and learn about this. It will be easy for you to understand. Right now you have no idea about resistance, so very difficult to understand the symbols. Okay, so is there any let's say doubt till now? If you have, please do ask. Let's say whatever has been taught for today's topic, you can write down in the chat section. I will answer it. No doubt.